Good afternoon. I wanted to do a quick video because there's a woodworker I follow on YouTube that I've followed and interacted with him for quite a few years, and I think he's a really good woodworker and he's a good guy. I don't want to say his name because I didn't ask him to. I didn't ask him for. I don't want to use the word permission, but I didn't tell him I was doing this. So, internet's a weird, wild place. But he always makes the point that people get too hung up on sharpening and sharpening systems and whatnot, and he recommends using a basic India stone and a leather strop. And I usually sharpen with an 800 grit and an 8,000 grit water stone. The King water stones, I really like them, but I do agree with them 100% that most sharpening mediums work just fine. I use as I said, I use a water stone. I do have a diamond stone as well, but I really don't use this to sharpen. I use this to flatten the water stones. I found that it does a really good job of that because it has a handle, and it pretty much, if you just put the water stone on a flat surface, it pretty much guarantees you're going to get it nice and cleaned up and flat when you're done sharpening with it. To sharpen today, I'm going to use this. This is an Arkansas stone from Smith's. It even has a crack in it. I purchased it like that, but it's really inexpensive. I actually purchased this to sharpen pocket knives with. For some reason, I have an issue with sharpening pocket knives on water stones, even though they say how great they are for that. I never could seem to get a nice, consistent edge for some odd reason. But I do manage to get an edge with this just fine. So I'm going to sharpen, I'll do this. This is a jack plane, number 5 Stanley. Probably, I'm almost positive it needs to be sharpened, and it definitely does. Now I would firstly say that this stone is really not a good stone to sharpen plane irons with. It's really not wide enough. And you can't, if you use, I don't use a honing guide, but if you did, this stone will not work. That is where water stones and the wider Arkansas stones, which are not inexpensive, but they're not crazy pricey either. They're usually under $100. This, I think I paid, it was definitely under $20. I'm not sure what I paid for it, but I got it at Lowe's or Home Depot or something like that. So, but I just wanted to show that you can use even this to sharpen a plane iron. So I use 3-in-1 oil, which probably every person who owns a home or a car or a bike should have in their house. It's a great product and it's inexpensive. And it does just about everything. It's low combustible, so you don't have to worry about it exploding. But here we go. We index the plane iron, I mean. I lift it up a little bit, and I just start circling. As I said, this is not really ergonomically suited to sharpening plane irons, but it will do. And what we're really trying to do here is just raise a bar, which you should be able to feel with your fingers, even with rubber gloves on. Now this iron does have a little bit of a camber to it, so I'm going to lift it up a little. There was a time I was not a proponent of micro bevels, except for smoothing planes, but I've grown to accept them of it, like them for certain things. Any chisel that you're going to use it to make mortises, for example, I would prefer not to have a micro bevel. But there's already a bar on that. But I'm going to work it a little bit more. And make sure that I'm getting an even line across, which I am. Index it, lift, Keep going, lift it up a little bit. As I said, this is a little awkward. It's really not meant for this type of clean. You could probably sharpen a chisel in here fairly easily. And I have a bevel on this corner here. There's not bevel, a bar. This corner there. Let me lift it up again. Have a bar all the way across. What I'm going to do is flatten it, remove the bar, index again, lift, and go again. In theory, an Arkansas stone polishes while sharpening. So we will see. A little bit more. Trying to use the whole stone. I actually prefer to sharpen with one hand. I'm much quicker that way. Bar all the way across. That off. It is not difficult to sharpen without a guide, but it does take a little bit of practice. Now usually what I'll do here is index it again, pull back, index, lift, pull back, index, lift, pull back. So that should be good. And the next thing that he recommends is something that I've been doing for quite a while as well, and that is a strap. Let's move this out of the way. Let me grab my strap. With the strap, we will use some honing compound. Now this is already charged, but just for the sake of the video, I'll add some more. And maybe 20 or 30 passes. You don't want to do too much more. You can round it over what you just sharpened. I have two pieces of leather on here. One has charging compound on it. The other one is just blank. Does not have any compound. I've never used it. You can do either or. And I'll do the same thing. Lift, index, pull back. Lift, index, pull back. Pull back. And that should be sharp. So we'll reassemble this real quickly. Sorry, my hands are sort of arthritic. Not a kid anymore. see if I have a piece of put here. This is kind of wonky, but we'll try it. See what we got. Get anything? As I said, this board is a little bit skewed. Not sure why. Let's see if we can flatten it out. But they were getting really nice shavings already. I mean, it is pine, so it might not be a real test. Let's see if we can back her off a little bit and get a finer shaving. These shavings are pretty fun to be doing with. I backed it off a little bit too much. A bit more. A little bit more, bit of turn. Now it's barely taking anything. Now it's taking very fine shavings, almost like smoothing plane. Now these are extremely thin. So that was just with a few moments on that Arkansas stone. Let's try it. Still kind of stewed a little bit. It was pretty bad. There we go, there's a scrap piece of oak. We'll try this. Going against the green a little bit. Even against the green, I got very fine shavings. You can see these are really, really thin. I could take a heavy shaving if I want to. So there it is. There's a full length. These are all full length shavings, but that was with this stone here, very inexpensive home center. Very inexpensive home center stone. That really is not even meant for being used on woodworking tools. And I was able to, in a matter of minutes, get this pretty sharp and polished up. I could have really have gone to town and possibly got out my 8,000 grit water stone and polished it up before I stropped it, but as we can see here, we didn't even have to do that. For most woodworking, this is plenty sharp. So I hope this helps, and have a great day. Thanks.